In this video, a homeless man asked me for money, the Amtrak Veterans unit, and I almost get arrested. It has been a moment since I last uploaded, but that's because I've been sick, and I kinda still am. I might sound a little nasally throughout this video, but that's because I wanted to get this video out. The train you're seeing is a Northeast Regional in Providence, Rhode Island, or rather I guess under Providence, Rhode Island. There's this cool spot south of the main station where the tracks go over a river but under a shopping center. I scoped this place out before going to Providence and thought it would be a chill corner to watch trains, but I would soon learn that this would not be a good spot to watch trains. After this shot, a guy came up to me and said hello, and so I said, "Hi, how are you?" And he said, "Not too well, man. I just got out of jail and I lost my wife and home and I'm really low on cash. I was wondering if you had any spare change." Now I have to think of something to get him away because he clearly wanted something from me, and the only thing I came up with was, "I have no money, but would a high five help?" And I held out my hand, and he did actually give me a high five, and then he left, and thank God. Then I quickly found another spot in the form of a balcony behind a hotel, and the first thing I see is Amtrak 642, the Honoring Our Veterans unit. This was an amazing stroke of luck. I was just casually watching trains pass and had no idea this was coming. It was such a nice treat after that interaction and a great way to start the day. As I let the rest of the clips play, let me tell you how I formatted my day. I had one earbud in my non-dominant ear so I could hear trains coming, and I was listening to a podcast. Every 20 or so minutes, I would check Google Maps to look at the train times for Providence Station, so I would know what time a train was coming, and when it was coming, I would get up off the bench I was sitting on and stand by the balcony and wait for it to come by. That's a good strategy if you're ever rail fanning the Northeast Corridor. Find the nearest station and look up the times for each train to know when they're coming. That's at least what I always did. Granted, Google Maps isn't always accurate, especially when a train is late, but it's close enough most of the time. Back to the trains. Providence Station is a terminus for MBTA, so I saw every MBTA train twice. It's the same way in Worcester, which I was in about a month prior to the recording of these clips. Granted, the MBTA trains were stopped in the station for a little bit because I think they clean out the cars and stuff like that. The section of the Northeast Corridor between New Haven and Boston I found to not be as busy as the parts that are south of New Haven. It's way more populated south of New Haven, so naturally you'll get a lot more traffic down there and other sectional railroads like Metro North or New Jersey Transit. Plus, Metro North stops in New Haven, and they make up a lot of the train traffic you'll see between New York City and New Haven. The engineer of this Acela train was really nice and honked for me, and I didn't get scared at all. See? Didn't even flinch. I was lucky that the MBTA trains run down to Providence because it would have been a lot less busy if it was just the Northeast Regionals and the Acelas. I moved down to that field because I got sick of standing on that balcony and wanted to move around a little bit. On my way down, I stopped at a gas station to get some chips because I was starving. When I left the hotel in the morning, I had one sausage patty, some bright yellow scrambled eggs that I'm pretty sure were radioactive, and an orange juice box. It wasn't the finest breakfast of my life, but hey, I'll take whatever food I can get, like the chips I got at the gas station. I went for a medium-sized bag of the normal Lay's potato chips because they didn't have sun chips, which are definitely my favorite flavor. I ended up moving back to the balcony because the sun was in my eyes down by the tracks and there were constantly people smoking outside of an apartment block I was standing next to. Plus I felt really out in the open, so I just moved back to the privacy of the hotel balcony. And the whole day I was there, I maybe saw 2 or 3 people go in and out of this building. It was great not having to perform social interaction. While I was standing on the balcony, I actually saw a squirrel eating right next to me. I had been standing still for so long that a squirrel had come up within touching distance and started eating some trash by the garbage bins. I didn't chase it or scare it or anything, I just watched him to pass the time. I actually had fun mentally commentating on what the squirrel was doing. By this point, my day had pretty much come to a close, so I started walking back to the car, but as I was passing the station, I heard a horn and actually ran over to this opening to record this last Acela. This would be the last train I would see in Providence that day. It was a really fun day, even though it got a bit boring at times. If you're ever in Providence, I really recommend that balcony. Nobody cares you're there, and you can get a really cool shot from above the trains, and it has the light of the sun for most of the day. And now I have an important announcement. It is at this point in my rail fanning history that I finally grew a brain cell and figured out how to take my phone and rotate it 90 degrees horizontally so that the videos would be taken in a normal 16:9 view. Gone are the days of me having to fix the vertical videos and zooming in that looks all weird. This is the first clip that I took horizontally of an Amtrak train going through South Hartford. From now on, all of the videos will be horizontal and I no longer have to edit them, thank God. These next few clips are from a weekend I spent in Newington. I scoped out this bridge to stand on to record trains, and boy did I look like a total idiot just standing on a concrete bridge alone doing absolutely nothing except look back and forth down the tracks and check my phone periodically. But I really don't care what people think of me while I railfan. I know I'm gonna look weird. This was the first clip that I took on Sunday. It was way more sunny that day and it was super hot. The asphalt from the road was not helping my body temperature, and neither was the fact that I didn't bring a water bottle. After I recorded the shot that you're seeing right now, I decided to get a little crafty and move around a little bit, and I went into the back of an auto repair shop that I definitely wasn't supposed to be in. Speaking of breaking the law, this day got a lot weirder because after that shot, I almost got arrested. So basically, I was standing up on that bridge, and below me there was a wood shop with two construction workers operating this wood cutting machine that had a conveyor belt where wood would go up into a bulldozer, and they were doing it for so long that wood started falling out of the bucket, and I waved over to them and caught one of their attention, and they waved back, and I started pointing to the bulldozer saying that the wood was falling out, and one of the guys moved back and pulled it away. A little bit after that interaction, I went down to the shop that they were cutting wood for and talked to the manager if I could stand on the deck that was adjacent to the shop because I wanted to record trains from there, and he agreed. And I was standing there for maybe 15 minutes when I hear something behind me, and I turn around and there were two cop cars in the parking lot and two cops coming out to talk to me. They asked me some general information like my name and where I was from and what I was doing there, and one of the cops walked up to the one that was interrogating me and asked me to leave the premises. So I did, quite quickly, and I didn't return. I went straight back to the car and completely left. After that interaction, I was pretty shaken, and it was a stark reminder to remember where you are while railfanning and to really try not to trespass. On a separate note, I don't normally advertise my next videos, but I want to give you guys a little sneak peek into what's coming up in the next video.